Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here. I got another Master Duel video for you, and it's Monday, which means it is time for another one of our viewer specials. As always, if you are interested in getting in on the viewer special and having some of your replays featured right here on the channel, you're going to want to head down to the description below. There's going to be an invite link to our Discord server, the Hexlexplex. Under the Master Duel section, there's a channel called Viewer Special Submissions. There you can drop your 9-digit player ID. That way I can see your publicly saved replays. And also, if you have one specific replay you want me to see, make sure you're leaving a screenshot or your opponent's name or something so I know that's the game you want me to watch. But yeah, let's go ahead and get right on into it. We have some pretty interesting looking games for this week. Okay, our first game comes to us from Kinohara, who is going to be playing with a Mitsurugi pile that's not yummy. It is actually going to be with the new Megalith stuff. So Mitsurugi Megalith, of course, getting a new boss monster, the Notre Pleura, as well as an important new support card in the Anastasis. So definitely makes sense to want to combine, the Megalith with one of the other better ritual archetypes out there, Mitsu. And Megalith being a rock deck also gets to play Quackmere Guardian, which I know from experience, my time playing Adamantipator, that this card is an excellent normal summon for any deck, basically making your whole turn immune to hand traps. So at the very least, you can counter one of them. So got that, and it looks like we're gonna be facing against everybody's quote-unquote favorite deck. It's Exodia. It's Crooked Cook Exodia in particular. So let's go ahead and see how we're able to set up on this opponent. Yeah, I will definitely be the first to say that I am not a fan of having to play against Exodia decks. I find them woefully boring pretty much no matter what variant it is. But alright, so we open with the prayers as well as quite a few of our Megalith cards here. We're gonna go activate Anastasis and then going for the prayers. That's gonna get hit with the Ghost spell, and then we're gonna chain Megalith Unformed. So Megalith Unformed is going to tribute the Night Sword Serpent, allowing us to ritual summon out the Megalith full, while Ghost spell negates the prayer. Anastasis effect and Night Sword Serpent both get to activate here. We're going to summon the Night Sword Serpent, and then Anastasis will let us draw 2 and then discard 1. Finding a Mitsurugi Ritual as well as a Maxi, which we're going to give up in order to keep our Megalith full. Now we're going to Ritual Summon using our 2 fulls, and that'll summon the Megalith Ophiel. Ophiel effect can add a Megalith monster from deck to hand. It's going to be the Fullock. And now we're going to Ritual Summon the Fullock using the Ophiel. Alright, Fullock effect will activate, adding back the Megalith Unformed. Anastasis can now discard the Unformed to add the Haggith as well as Aratron. Aratron? Yeah, I'm going to assume that's how you pronounce that. Which was one of the boss monsters they would previously end on, but okay, here's a Link monster I am actually not super familiar with. Ashlon U1000 is a Link 2 Cybers monster. Materials are 2 monsters with different types and attributes. If a ritual monster's card points to attacks a defensive position monster, do piercing. You can reveal a ritual monster in your hand, add a ritual monster with a different type and attribute from your deck to your hand. Interesting, so that's how we're going to extend. Oh, so you can go from Megalith right into Mitsurugi. That's actually a really cool way to bridge like other ritual archetypes into Mitsurugi. So now we can use the ritual, tributing Saji and Aramasa from deck in order to summon out the Habakiri. Of course, we're going to get both of those effects. We can not only add a monster, but a spell card from the Mitsurugi archetype as well. We're going to grab the Mitsurugi Mirror, as well as, I imagine, Murakumo. Yep, it's going to be Murakumo. Mirror is going to activate, tribute Habakiri, summon Murakumo. Now Habakiri can activate its effect to summon and then search, getting even more bodies online. Ooh, and more negates at that, the Great Purification too. We're going to set that, looks like, along with the prayers for passing over to our opponent. So our Murakumo might have gotten tributed by the Kaiju, but of course remember that just means that the Murakumo is going to come back here. We can shuffle back the mirror, chain blocking the Murakumo's search, and then summon. And they still have to deal with the quote-unquote negate. Also, Special Hurricane. I saw this earlier. What a board breaker here. Discard 1 card from your hand, destroy all special summoned monsters on the field. That's downright adorable. But here it looks like we're going to use the Great Purification in order to tribute our Habakiri and negate that. Now we can go for the Habakiri effect, adding the prayers, and summoning right back to our field. They're going to go Shark Effect. We're going to chain Murakumo, which is going to force them to discard a card in order to get this. And it doesn't look like they're willing to do that. They're just going to go ahead and concede here. Although, even if they had been successful in getting the materials for Crooked Cook on the field, we could, of course, flip up the prayers, tribute the Murakumo, and then board wipe. If we didn't already, did we board wipe already? Actually, wasn't even really. I don't remember. I don't think we did, though, during their turn. So, yeah, we could have board wiped and then stopped them from summoning the Crooked Cook there. All right. There's going to be our first duel showing how to bridge from Megalith into Mitsurugi. Thank you very much for that replay, Kinohara. But we have a couple of other games to look at, so let's go into the next one. Okay, next game comes to us from Fun Enjoyer, aka MTG King SAF over on the Discord server. So, we're going to be taking a look at a duel of Pure Yummy versus Pure Dracotail. Or, sorry, Pure Yummy versus Branded Dracotail. A matchup you're probably going to be getting pretty familiar with moving forward here. So, looks like we're on a fairly standard-looking Pure Yummy list here. And then our opponent, it looks like they're going to be on the branded variant of Dracotail, which also looks fairly standard, all things considered. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get right on into this. It's going to be a going second game. So I'm interested to see how we're going to push through their board and go for lethal. I imagine it'll involve the Minion and a bunch of yummy monsters, but we'll see. Okay, so we opened Ash Blossom and Imperm. It's not bad at all. They're going to lead with the normal summon Lucius. We're going to throw out the Ash Blossom here to negate that. Let's see what else they end up doing here. We could still use Imperm against like Arthelion or something else potentially if they have follow-up. Or maybe not, as we're going to get hit with the triple attack, which is going to take the Imperm from us here. It's definitely a bit rough. Looks like they're going to use Ketu in order to add the Fine Mana here. And then now they can go Fine Mana effect to fuse Lucius with a random monster from their hand. Yeah, this Ghost Mourner here. Okay, so now they can make the Arthelion and Lucius both get to activate here. They're going to probably, I imagine, add back the Fine Mana and then set the Rahu. And then they could go activate Rahu, send Fine Mana from hand, send Orgola from deck. Which is exactly what is going to happen here. Now, that'll mean they'll get Golemel and 2 of the trap cards. They'll probably prioritize Flame and Horn, tend to. There's Flame. And Sting. Okay, they are going to go for Sting. Orgola effect gets to add back the Fine Mana, and hopefully that's going to be all they have. Yep. So they have 1 card in hand left we don't know about. Probably safe to assume it's a monster they're going to try to fuse with. Ash Blossom, a very solid top deck. It can be used against multiple of the Dracotail cards here. Looks like our opponent is using Sting in order to get the Golemel to destroy the Cupsy Yummy here. Which I think is a bit of a hasty activation on their part. I feel like this is completely fine. We're going to go for the surprise to revive. They're going to chain the Flame. We can use Ash Blossom to negate that. Definitely worth doing. Not only do we get to keep our body, but now they won't get another draw here. They have Fine Mana plus 2 cards in hand. They're using the Fine Mana right off the bat. Wow. Our opponent, I feel like, is being very hasty here. And how quickly they're just using all these disruptions. Especially bouncing the Cupsy Yummy. I guess we have already used our normal summon. Oh, they didn't even bounce our Cupsy. Wow, they're just letting us combo anyway. Okay, that is totally fine. Yeah, now we can just go Yummy Snatchy effect. Oh, they're going to go Ghost Mourner here. So that'll negate. We can't get the Minion, but thankfully we do have the Marshmallow Yummy. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't bounce the Cupsy. Because, like, with the way our opponent played things out, even if we didn't have Marshmallow Yummy, if we had had Cookie or Lollipop, we could have still comboed off. If they had bounced our Cupsy Yummy, though, I mean, we still would have been able to combo off because we have Marshmallow, but it would have needed to have been exactly Marshmallow in order to be able to win here. So we're going to add back the Cookie and Lollipop. Those are the last two we haven't summoned yet. Gonna get hit with the Droll. This is totally fine at this stage in the combo line, though. Alright, there's Snatchy and Cupsy back off the Cupsy Yummy way. Now we can summon Cookie and Lollipop. Shuffling back their Fimena, synchroing for 2. It's gonna be the Lollipop here. And then now we can keep synchro climbing. I saw we have Martial Metal Marcher, so I imagine, yep, that's what this is. And then we can go with that effect in order to revive the Lollipop. Now, Martial plus Cookie is going to be Herald of the Arclight. And then we're going to link into Elf. Okay, so are we just making the turn 1 board here? And then we're going to use the Yummy Surprise to bounce stuff? Okay, during their turn, I see. I wondered if we were going to do it during our turn and try to battle over the Golem, but I don't know if that would have necessarily been possible. Also, oh, I thought we were going to... Okay, so it looks like we're doing something else here. We're going to use the Yummy Snatchy, or the Surprise for the Snatchy, place the Acro Quee, and then now we're going to synchro into the Cookie Yummy way. So we're turning those face down, but they can still get flipped up during this... Oh, no, they can't because it's the battle phase. I see. Okay. I thought it was still their main phase. We're going to go for Ketu. We're going to negate with Herald. And then they concede there. Okay. Gotcha. So, not the cleanest game, but we were definitely still able to come out on top, defeating our Dracotail opponent with the Yummy Yummy. Such a fun deck. Alright, let's go and take a look at one last game before we finish off here. Alright, how about we finish off with a game against Yummy? That's coming to us from Zonai here. Zonai has a game playing Fiendsmith control against Yummy. So, looks like this list is making use of the Millennium engine as well as an extended Psyframe engine. That's really cool. The Psyframe Gear Delta. It's like Driver, but for spell cards. And Gamma, rather. Gamma, of course, is still an excellent hand trap, even though it's limited. As we saw in the latest Duelist Cup, a lot of those top 100 Duelist Cup players were still using Gamma and Driver, even though Gamma's at 1, because it's just that good of a hand trap. Alright, and then our opponent is going to, of course, be on Yummy. Looks like they're doing, wow, they're doing Elf plus Borreload shenanigans. I haven't seen that combination yet. And we are going second. So, let's see if we're going to lose coin flip, win anyway. Alright, so they're going first. Wow. We have Gamma, Delta, and Ash Blossom. Okay, so they're going to lead with Engage. We're going to throw out the Ash Blossom against that. Following up with normal summon Cookie. Cookie's going to leak off for the Yummy Snatchy. And we could Gamma here. That would stop not only the Snatchy yet, but also the Mignon from getting set up. Now, even if they have like a Marshmallow, they wouldn't really be able to set up the field spell here. It looks like they're going to have a Yummy Surprise to resummon the Yummy Snatchy. Wow, okay. So they had Surprise and a Marshmallow. Got it. Now they can add back the Surprise with Marshmallow and Synchro Summon for the Cupsy Yummy way. Letting them pretty much full combo anyway from this point. And because the Driver is on the field, of course now we can't use the Delta effect. You're gonna pitch a Purge there. Adding the Mignon off the Cupsy makes sense because they already have Surprise in hand. Especially the Cookie Yummy linking off into another Snatchy. A little bit weird. Oh, because they need, yeah, because they need to link one to revive, sure. But that's... Really? They're not going to go for Herald of the Arclight? Okay, that's definitely fine for us here. Normal summon Lacrima. Lacrima is going to activate. Opponent's going to chain their Yummy Snatchy effect. Synchro summoning for the 2. And that's going to be Cookie Yummy Way. So Lacrima dumps Tract, and then Cookie Yummy Way is going to turn Lacrima face down. But we can just use the Tract effect to fuse here. So they're going to chain Cupsy Yummy Way effect to that. Reviving the Yummy Snatchy, as well as the Cookie. And then our Tract will fuse the face down Lacrima with the Lacrima that's in our hand to summon Fiendsmith Lacrima. Now Fiendsmith's Lacrima is going to activate. They're going to chain, well not chain, but chain link 2 Cookie Yummy effect will destroy the Fiendsmith's Lacrima. We get to burn them a little bit here. They're going to chain Cookie Yummy Way effect. So the only synchro they haven't gone into yet is Lollipo Yummy Way, but they already have like all their bodies on board, so I don't think Lollipo does a lot here. We can still activate the Engraver effect from hand here, and we can still use the Tract activation effect because we only use the Banish effect right there. Now we can summon out the Lurie and link off Lurie for Fiendsmith's Requiem. And it looks like we do still have a body to summon left in our deck. The other Engraver, of course. And now we're synchro summoning for the Chaos Angel. Because remember, you don't need a tuner monster if you're using all light and dark material. Excuse me. Banishing the Mignon is a really good call here. That way it weakens the board state. And now that all their monsters have been weakened, they're really not much of a threat at all anymore. We're going to battle over the Lollipo Yummy Way. Main phase 2, activate Engraver. Link it off with the Chaos Angel, and that's going to let us go into sequence. Now sequence F. Looks like we're going to fuse for the Fiendsmith's Lacrima yet again. And then now we can link these two. Is it going to be Little Knight? Oh no, it's going to be Ognum Day, or Ognum Day, rather. Oh, to revive Engraver and equip, and then now we can pop one of their monsters. Probably their Yummy Snatchy, that way both copies are in the graveyard. They don't really have access to it anymore at that point. Wow, that was, I like that loop there. I don't know if I've ever gone Ognum Day into the Engraver, but I'll have to look out for that when I play Fiendsmith Control in the future. Thank you very much, not only to Zonai, but as well as everybody else who submitted for this week's viewer special. Couldn't do it without you, and I love that we get to do this series every single week. Thank you again. That's good for now, though. Let's move on to our outro. Hey everybody, Hexlex here. Thank you so very much for watching all the way to the very end of the video, which by the way is one of the best ways to support the channel. Speaking of supporting the channel, take a look at the names on screen. These are folks who have been so generous as to either join as a YouTube member or subscribe over on patreon.com/Hexlex to support. There's also perks for doing so. If you would like to see YouTube videos early, as well as some exclusive videos that get uploaded to YouTube, but for one reason or another I decide not to publish, definitely go ahead and hit that join button to see content early, as well as some exclusive content. If you're looking for more exclusive content, over on patreon.com, I upload exclusive videos that are not posted on YouTube just about every single day. Whether you choose to subscribe over on Patreon, join as a YouTube member, or simply continue to watch, your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you so very much. But for now, this is Hexlex. I am signing out, and I hope that you have a fantastic day.